The first sexual experience, a milestone etched in memory. For girls, it carries a unique weight, a blend of societal expectations and personal discovery. It's a step into womanhood shrouded in a confusing mix of messages. We hear whispers of pleasure, anxieties around pain, and warnings about reputation. All of this swirls together, creating a confusing and often overwhelming narrative. This isn't just about physical intimacy. This is about a young woman navigating a world that often sexualizes and objectifies her. It's about reconciling societal expectations with her own evolving desires. It's about claiming agency in a society that often tries to dictate the terms of her sexuality. The experience itself can be exhilarating and terrifying, liberating and confusing. It can leave her feeling empowered or vulnerable. There's no one-size-fits-all narrative. Each girl's journey is uniquely her own. From a young age, girls are bombarded with conflicting messages about sex. Movies often romanticize it, while music videos often hypersexualize it. The media often portrays a narrow and often unrealistic view of female sexuality. This leaves young women grappling to define their own experiences within a framework that doesn't always feel authentic. Social circles can add another layer of pressure. Friends might share embellished stories, creating a sense of expectation or even competition. The pressure to conform, to have a good first time, can feel immense. Adding to the complexity are the double standards often imposed on girls. While boys boasting about sexual conquests might be celebrated, girls are often shamed for the same behavior. This can create a culture of silence where girls are hesitant to discuss their experiences openly. There's a pervasive narrative that a girl's first sexual experience is about losing her innocence. This perspective frames female sexuality as something to be protected, controlled, and ultimately surrendered. But what if we challenge that narrative? What if we viewed a girl's first sexual experience as a journey of self-discovery, an opportunity to explore her body, her desires, and her boundaries on her own terms? This reframing shifts the focus from societal expectations to personal agency. It acknowledges that a girl's first sexual experience is not about pleasing others or conforming to societal norms, but about understanding and owning her sexuality. It's about recognizing that her worth is not tied to her sexual experience. This journey is rarely easy or straightforward. It's often messy, confusing, and filled with self-doubt. But it's in the vulnerability and the questioning that true self-discovery can occur. Open a magazine, turn on the TV, or scroll through social media. Media shapes how girls perceive sex. They are bombarded with unrealistic views of sexuality. Movies glamorize the first time, while music videos often objectify women. This creates pressure to conform to unrealistic standards. Social media adds to insecurities, fueling anxieties about body image. This barrage of messages challenges healthy self-understanding. Navigating the social landscape of adolescence can feel like walking a tightrope. Teenagers are constantly trying to fit in, seeking validation from their peers. When it comes to sex, this pressure to conform can be particularly intense. Conversations about first times often happen in hushed tones, with details exaggerated or embellished to impress others. This can create a culture of one-upmanship, where girls feel pressured to have a similar or even better experience than their friends. The fear of being seen as inexperienced or left behind can lead to rushed decisions and a lack of open communication about boundaries and desires. Adding to the pressure is the constant access to information and misinformation through social media and the internet. Myths and rumors about sex abound, often perpetuating harmful stereotypes and unrealistic expectations. This can create a sense of anxiety and confusion, making it even harder for girls to distinguish fact from fiction. It's crucial for young women to remember that everyone's journey is different. There's no right or wrong timeline for exploring sexuality. It's about making choices that feel right for them, based on their own values and comfort levels, and not on external pressures. Society sends mixed messages about sex, especially regarding gender. Boys are encouraged to be assertive, while girls are taught to be passive. This double standard creates shame and silence around female sexuality. Boys boasting about conquests get high fives, while girls face judgment and slut-shaming. This makes it hard for girls to talk openly about their experiences. We must challenge these standards and empower girls to embrace their sexuality without fear. The concept of virginity is often laden with cultural and societal baggage, particularly for girls. It's often portrayed as a prized possession, something to be protected and surrendered only under specific circumstances, often within the context of marriage or a serious relationship. This emphasis on virginity can create immense pressure on young women, making their first sexual experience feel like a life-altering event that will define their worth. It can lead to feelings of anxiety, guilt, and a fear of judgment. They may feel pressured to save themselves for the right person or moment, adding unnecessary stress and complexity to their exploration of sexuality. It's important to remember that virginity is a social construct, not a biological one. It carries different meanings and significance for different individuals and cultures. Deconstructing the myths and expectations surrounding virginity is crucial for empowering girls to make their own choices about their bodies and their sexual experiences without feeling pressured by societal norms or expectations. The period leading up to a girl's first sexual experience can be a confusing mix of anticipation and anxiety. It's a time of heightened emotions, with hormones surging and a sense of the unknown looming large. There's a natural curiosity about sex, a desire to experience this intimacy that everyone seems to be talking about. But alongside the excitement, there are often fears and insecurities. What if it hurts? What if I'm not good at it? What if he doesn't like my body? These questions can swirl in a young woman's mind, amplified by the media's often unrealistic portrayals of sex and the pressure to conform to societal expectations. The internet can be both a blessing and a curse. It provides access to information, but it also bombards young people with a constant stream of often conflicting messages about sex. Sorting through this information overload can be overwhelming, leaving girls feeling more confused than informed. It's crucial for young women to have access to accurate and age-appropriate information about sex and relationships. This includes understanding their bodies, their sexual health, and the importance of consent and communication. Many young women carry the weight of societal expectations on their shoulders when it comes to sex. They are often taught to prioritize their partner's pleasure over their own, to be accommodating and pleasing. This pressure to perform can create anxiety and detract from the experience. The fear of judgment is real. Will he think I'm inexperienced? Will he be disappointed? These thoughts can creep in, silencing a young woman's own desires and needs. It's a time when self-doubt can easily overshadow self-discovery. It's essential for girls to understand that their pleasure and comfort are just as important as their partners. Sex is not about performance, it's about shared intimacy and connection. Learning to communicate their needs and desires is crucial for a positive and fulfilling sexual experience. This can be easier said than done, especially in the heat of the moment. That's why open and honest conversations about sex and boundaries are so important, both with partners and with trusted friends or family members. Consent is not just a legal term, it's the foundation of any healthy sexual relationship. It means that both parties are freely and enthusiastically choosing to engage in sexual activity. It's about respecting each other's boundaries and understanding that consent can be withdrawn at any time. For young women, navigating consent can be particularly challenging. They may feel pressured by their partner or societal expectations to say yes, even when they don't truly want to. They may be unsure how to express their boundaries or worry about hurting their partner's feelings. It's crucial for girls to understand that their voice matters. They have the right to say no to any sexual activity at any time for any reason. They don't owe anyone an explanation or justification for their choices. Learning to communicate their boundaries assertively and respectfully is an important life skill, not just in romantic relationships, but in all areas of life. The media often bombards girls with images of idealized beauty, creating unrealistic expectations for how they should look. This can lead to body image issues and insecurities, which can be amplified when it comes to sex. Many young women worry about their bodies being good enough for their partner. They may feel self-conscious about their weight, their breast size, or any number of perceived imperfections. These insecurities can make it difficult to relax and enjoy the experience. It's important for girls to remember that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. There is no one right way to look. Embracing their bodies, celebrating their uniqueness, and focusing on what makes them feel confident and comfortable is essential. Self-acceptance is a journey, not a destination. It's about challenging negative self-talk, surrounding themselves with positive influences, and focusing on their inner qualities rather than external appearances. The emotional landscape leading up to a girl's first sexual experience can feel like a roller coaster ride. One minute, she's excited and eager to explore this new aspect of herself. The next, she's overwhelmed with anxiety, fear, and self-doubt. It's a time of intense emotions, often with conflicting feelings arising simultaneously. She may feel pressure to make it perfect, to live up to her own expectations and those of her partner. She may worry about the emotional implications of becoming sexually active, especially if it's within the context of a romantic relationship. It's important to remember that there is no right way to feel. It's perfectly normal to experience a range of emotions, from excitement to apprehension to even a sense of vulnerability. Talking about these feelings with a trusted friend, family member, or therapist can be incredibly helpful. Having a supportive network can make a significant difference in navigating this emotional roller coaster. The physical experience of first-time sex for girls is often shrouded in a veil of mystery and misconception. Movies and TV shows often portray it as a seamless, effortless dance of passion, with bodies moving in perfect sync. But the reality can be quite different. The physical act itself can feel awkward, messy, and even a little bit strange. Bodies are unfamiliar, nerves are high, and there's a lot of pressure to get it right. This disconnect between fantasy and reality can lead to disappointment, self-consciousness, and a sense of inadequacy. It's important to remember that every experience is unique. There's no right way for it to feel or unfold. Some girls describe feeling a rush of pleasure, while others experience discomfort or even pain. There's no one-size-fits-all narrative. Open and honest communication with a partner is crucial. Talking about what feels good, what doesn't, and any anxieties or concerns can help alleviate some of the pressure and make the experience more enjoyable for both parties involved. One of the biggest anxieties surrounding first-time sex for girls is the fear of pain. The hymen, a thin membrane that may partially cover the vaginal opening, is often at the center of this anxiety. While some girls experience little to no discomfort, others may feel a sharp pain or a tearing sensation. It's important to understand that the hymen can stretch and tear during various activities, not just sexual intercourse. Sports, tampon use, or even just normal stretching can cause changes to the hymen. The presence or absence of a hymen is not an indicator of virginity or sexual experience. If pain is experienced during sex, it's important to communicate that to your partner and stop immediately. There are ways to make the experience more comfortable, such as using lubrication or engaging in foreplay to relax and prepare the body. However, pain should never be ignored or dismissed as normal. If pain persists, it's essential to consult a healthcare professional to rule out any underlying medical conditions. Open communication and a foundation of trust are paramount for a positive and safe first sexual experience. It's about feeling comfortable enough with your partner to express your needs, desires, and boundaries without fear of judgment or pressure. This means being able to say no to anything that makes you uncomfortable, even if it's something you've already said yes to before. Consent is an ongoing process, and it's okay to change your mind at any time. It's also about being able to talk openly about any anxieties or fears you may have, whether it's about pain, pregnancy, or sexually transmitted infections. Knowledge is power, and feeling informed can help alleviate some of the anxiety surrounding sex. Trust is built over time through open communication, honesty, and respect for each other's boundaries. It's about feeling safe and secure enough to be vulnerable with your partner. After the act itself, there's often a wave of emotions that wash over a girl. Relief, excitement, confusion, disappointment, even a sense of emptiness. These are all normal reactions to a first-time experience. It's important to allow yourself the time and space to process what happened, both physically and emotionally. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist about how you're feeling. Writing in a journal or engaging in other forms of self-expression can also be helpful. It's also important to remember that one experience doesn't define you or your sexuality. Sexuality is fluid and ever-evolving. What feels right today may not feel right tomorrow, and that's okay. Don't be afraid to seek out accurate information about sex and relationships from trusted sources, such as healthcare professionals, educators, or reputable websites. Section 5. Reclaiming the narrative, defining your own experience. For too long, the narrative surrounding girls' first sexual experiences has been shaped by societal expectations, double standards, and unrealistic portrayals in the media. It's time to reclaim that narrative. Your first time is just one chapter in your sexual journey, a journey that is uniquely your own. It doesn't define you, your worth, or your future. What matters most is that you approach it on your own terms, with a partner you trust, and with a sense of agency over your body and your choices. It's about embracing the full spectrum of emotions that come with it, the good, the bad, and the confusing. It's about learning from the experience, growing from it, and using it to shape your own definition of sexuality and intimacy. Section 1. The emotional echo. The aftermath of a first sexual experience can be surprisingly reverberant. The initial wave of emotions, relief, excitement, confusion, might settle, but a subtler echo lingers. Some girls experience a newfound sense of confidence, feeling more comfortable in their own skin. They've crossed a threshold, explored a new dimension of themselves, and emerged feeling empowered. For others, the experience might trigger a wave of vulnerability. Doubts about the relationship, questions about their own attractiveness, or a sense of being emotionally exposed can surface. These feelings are natural, part of the complex emotional processing that follows such an intimate act. It's important to remember that there's no right way to feel. Some girls might want to talk about it endlessly, dissecting every detail with their friends. Others might prefer to process it internally, journaling or reflecting quietly. Both responses are valid. This is a crucial time for self-compassion. It's easy to get caught up in self-criticism or second-guessing. Instead, focus on kindness towards yourself. Acknowledge the courage it took to navigate this experience and allow yourself the grace to process it at your own pace. Section 2. Relationship redefined. If the first sexual experience occurred within a romantic relationship, the dynamic inevitably shifts. The physical act of intimacy can deepen the emotional connection, fostering a sense of vulnerability and shared intimacy. Suddenly, there's a new layer to navigate, a new language to learn in the relationship. However, not all relationships are equipped to handle this transition smoothly. If communication was already a challenge, the added layer of physical intimacy can exacerbate existing issues. Insecurities might surface, jealousy might flare, or the power dynamic within the relationship might feel altered. It's crucial to remember that open and honest communication is more important than ever. Talking about how the experience made each person feel, addressing any insecurities or concerns, and reaffirming boundaries can help strengthen the relationship. If the experience happened outside the context of a committed relationship, the emotional aftermath can be equally complex. There might be relief, regret, or a sense of confusion about what the experience means for the future. Again, open communication with the other person involved is vital to ensure both people feel respected and heard. While society has often placed immense pressure on girls and their first sexual experiences, there's a growing movement towards destigmatization and a more sex-positive approach. Conversations about consent, healthy relationships, and sexual health are becoming more commonplace. This shift is crucial for creating an environment where young women feel empowered to embrace their sexuality on their own terms, without shame or judgment. It's about challenging double standards, promoting open dialogue, and providing accurate information about sex and relationships. However, the remnants of outdated attitudes and expectations still linger. Slut-shaming, pressure to conform to societal norms, and the objectification of women's bodies are still prevalent in many aspects of society. It's important for young women to surround themselves with a supportive network of friends, family members, or mentors who validate their experiences and empower them to make their own choices about their bodies and their sexuality. Section 4. The Journey Inward. Perhaps the most profound and lasting impact of a first sexual experience is the journey inward it can spark. It can be a catalyst for self-discovery, prompting young women to examine their values, desires, and boundaries. It can lead to a deeper understanding of their own bodies, their responses to pleasure, and their emotional needs in intimate relationships. This newfound self-awareness can be incredibly empowering. It's essential to approach this journey with curiosity and self-compassion. There will be moments of doubt, confusion, and even regret, but there will also be moments of clarity, liberation, and a deeper connection to oneself. Remember that sexuality is not a destination. It's a lifelong journey of exploration and discovery. Embrace the complexities, challenge the norms, and define your own path towards a healthy, fulfilling, and authentic sexual self. Section 1. The Tapestry of Growth. A girl's first sexual experience marks a significant turning point in her life. It's a step into a wider world of intimacy and self-discovery. The experience weaves intricate patterns into the tapestry of her life. It's a kaleidoscope of emotions, a fusion of physical sensations and emotional awakenings. This journey inward is where the true growth lies. She emerges stronger, more self-aware, and more equipped to navigate relationships and intimacy. Section 2. Finding your voice, owning your narrative. For far too long, societal expectations, double standards, and the pervasive influence of media have dictated the narrative surrounding girls and their sexuality. The first sexual experience has often been framed within a narrow lens of morality, shame, or a loss of innocence. It's time to shatter these restrictive molds and empower young women to reclaim their narratives. This means embracing the full spectrum of experiences, acknowledging that there's no one right way to feel or react. It's about creating safe spaces for open and honest conversations about sex, consent, and healthy relationships, free from judgment or shame. When girls feel empowered to define their own experiences, they break free from the shackles of societal expectations. They learn to trust their instincts, honor their boundaries, and make choices that align with their values and desires. This newfound agency extends beyond the realm of sexuality. It permeates all aspects of their lives, empowering them to speak their truth, advocate for themselves, and navigate the world with greater confidence and self-assurance. Section 3. Beyond the first time, a lifelong journey. The significance of a first sexual experience, while undeniable, should not overshadow the reality that it's just one step in a lifelong journey of sexual exploration and self-discovery. Sexuality is not a destination, it's a fluid, ever-evolving aspect of who we are. As girls mature into women, their understanding of their bodies, their desires, and their capacity for intimacy continues to deepen. Relationships evolve, experiences shape their perspectives, and societal norms are challenged and redefined. It's essential to approach this journey with a spirit of curiosity, openness, and self-compassion. There will be moments of joy, pleasure, and deep connection. There might also be moments of disappointment, heartbreak, or confusion. Each experience, whether positive or negative, offers valuable lessons about ourselves, our needs, and what we seek in a partner. By embracing the full spectrum of this journey, we empower ourselves to cultivate healthy, fulfilling, and authentic relationships throughout our lives.